Hi, I'm Santosh Thakre. Today's session is about Sarbanes-Oxley Act, Introduction to the SOX. So just to give you a background, what exactly is SOX? SOX is Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So way back in 2000, there were so many bankruptcies happening. The famous Enron files for bankruptcy with 62.8 billion in assets, and well as WorldCom 107 billion, large bankruptcy in history. Thousands of investors lost billions of dollars and trillions in confidence. And then we have the Satyam scam as well in the year 2008. So, what exactly is SOX? Sarbanes-Oxley compliance provides reasonable assurance that the organization is managed effectively and honestly. Sarbanes-Oxley compliance is a way of demonstrating due diligence regardless of the act is actually mandatory. It started in the year 2002. SOX created Public Accounting Overview Board. PCOB replaces AICPA for setting public accounting auditing standards. So, who are Charbonneau and Oxley basically? So, it started in the year 2002 when two people, Paul S. Charbonneau and Michael Oxley, Paul S. Charbonneau, senator from Maryland, and Michael G. Oxley, congressman from Ohio, starting this Charbonneau-Oxley Act when it was drafted in the year 2002. So, who exactly has to comply this SOX? Which company SOXs are applicable for? It is applicable for US public traded companies and global companies with US publicly traded operations, all corporations that fall under the jurisdiction of US Securities and Exchange Commissions, private firms interested in going public, private firms that may be the target of an acquisition or merger by public firm, and provisions doesn't apply to non-profits and private companies. So basically, whichever private companies are there which wants to go public, for them SOX is applicable. SOX is applicable also to the companies which wants to get merger into a public listed company. So SOX is not applicable to non-profit organizations like NGO as well as to the private companies. So what would really happen if you don't comply with SOX? Failure to comply with Sarbanes-Oxley exposes senior management to possible prison time up to 20 years, significant penalties as much as 5 billion or both. External auditors will not sign their attestation of our control structure of compliance SEC investigation. A minor problem will become a major issue, problem with investors, lenders, and customers. Brand problems, confidence will be weakened, affecting the stock price. So basically, when the SOX was drafted in the year 2002 by Paul Sarbanes and Michael Oxley, they drafted some goals of the SOX. So what exactly are these goals of SOX? The very first goal talks about to bring in significant level of responsibility to the senior most managers such as the CEO, CIO, CFO. So what kind of responsibility it talks about? It talks about like whenever the financial reports are being reviewed, it should be reviewed in a timely manner. It should get certified in a timely manner. And each and every document should have been reviewed by the CEO, CIO, CFO before getting into the public domain. The second goal of the SOX was to protect the investor and increase their confidence in public listed companies. So by bringing this SOX goals, SOX Act, it would increase the confidence of the customer as well as the investigator, and they will start investing in the public listed companies. Then the third thing is to tighten the regulation of independent auditors. So to tighten the regulation of independent auditors in the sense, so whenever an audit is being conducted, it should be conducted. The auditor should have an independent review of the audit being conducted. It should not be under the influence of the senior management. And moreover, to ensure proper reporting of the financial results, the CFO, CEO, CEO, and CIO should certify quarterly and annual reports as well. The financial statements and other financial information should be fairly present in the material aspects, the financial position, results of operations, and cash flows. So these were the goals of SOX when it was drafted in the year 2002. So there are different sections of the SOX. The very first section talks about public company accounting oversight, which talks about 101 section to 109, which talks about whenever a public listed company wants to follow SOX, it should get registered to public to the it should approach the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, which is the PCOB board, and they would provide them the SOX guidelines. And then we have the auditor's independence. Auditor's independence talks about section 201 to 209, which talks about independent review of the audit being conducted. And then we have the corporate responsibility, which covers section 302, which talks about the CEO, CFO, CIO should ensure that they review the reports in a timely manner, and the reports should be fairly present in the public domain as well. Then we have the section 401 to 409, specifically section 404 to Section 404A and Section 404B talks about ITGC controls. So whenever we want to implement SOX, we have to ensure that we implement ITGC. If we implement ITGC, we implement SOX. So ITGC Section 404 covers ITGC design, test of design, which covers 404A, and test of operating effectiveness, it covers 404B. So we have different sections of the SOX as well. There are other sections of the SOX as well, which needs to be followed in order to be SOX compliant. So then we have corporate responsibility, section 302, financial responsibility. CEO, CFO certify that they have reviewed the financial report. The report contains no omissions and misstatement of material facts. The report fairly present the financial conditions. And then we have section 404A, internal controls must be established, maintained, analyzed, assessed for effectiveness. C and CFO certify internal controls are sufficient and have been monitored within 90 days of report filing. Then we have section 404B, which talks about report attesting to the effectiveness of internal controls required per fiscal year. Material changes in internal control system must be reported every quarter. The report must address the design of the system, the effectiveness, proof of actual test on the controls and the results. So basically section 404A talks about the design, test of design, how the controls are designed, and section 404B talks about the effectiveness of it, how those controls are operating effectively at the ground level. So basically SOX is nothing but it's a compliance that helps the organization to manage effectively and honestly, that provides a reasonable assurance to the organization that it is managed effectively and honestly. So thank you so much for viewing this. Thank you so much.
Preview.